welcome to Saxthorpe Farms and the start of my new Let's Play series. I'm going to run through setting up the game settings, the goal for the series, and we're going to buy everything. So I'm starting on New Farmer, which is very rare for me. That means we're starting with £1.5 million in the bank, which seems incredibly generous. We have some flying deer over there. So I'm going to go through, we'll do the game settings first. So, yeah, that's fine. Common difficulty, normal. Traffic's on, but at the moment, the version of the map that I'm playing doesn't have traffic. I know Farm Sim Brisco is working on that. Seasonal growth, yes. I'm going to start off on 2 days per month, I think. Might increase that as we go. Crop destruction on. Yes, periodic ploughing on. Fieldstones, no, because fieldstones suck. Weeds on. Dirt, normal, automatic engine start off. Stop go braking off. Trailer fuel limit. I'm going to leave that off actually. Normal fuel usage, and turn all of those off. And I'm playing with the enhanced loan system, so that's why that bit is there. Just check they're in pounds and miles and things. Cool. So that's that bit done. What's the goal of the series? So starting with £1.5 million, I think we're going to buy the yard plus about 5 fields. That's the plan. The yard that I'm interested in is down here, I think. So that's what, 60, 68, 74. Or that one. So there's 2 options for yards that I'm still toying with. So we'll just have a quick look at those. I need to make a decision today because I'm setting everything up. But the first one is this yard, which is slightly bigger. So we've got 3 decent size sheds and a silo. The alternative is over here. We've got the older yards, which have, I'd be buying this one. So we've got a lot of small sheds, but no silo. We would have that piece of land next to it. So in theory, we could look at putting in a silo, but silos are quite expensive. I do have Alien Gyms animated shed pack installed, I thought, but it doesn't seem to show up, which is interesting. I may not have added that in. I will need to do, because I do plan to make use of it. I do have it in. Okay. I guess that maybe the silos pack is a separate one. So although I do really, really like the feel of this yard, I think it might be more sensible to buy this yard over here because it's got a silo in it, and it's got plenty of shed space and a bit of space to grow, because the plan is to try and own all of the map. So the that works out. I think I add it up to about £20 million. I did not include in that the BGA or the we've got the timber one, and there's a grain one down here, I believe. I've not included the productions in that, and I'm not too worried about owning those, if I'm honest. If things are going well, we'll include it because the that's not so expensive. The BGA, which is in the middle here, is pretty expensive, and you need to buy the BGA to get the land. So that's a thing which I do need to think about a bit more. That's the goal of the series. Now, if I find that this is taking way too long, then I might not go through with it. I'm not just going to keep grinding and grinding and grinding and everyone getting bored. but that is the goal. I want to own the map. I've never done that before. So that's the goal. On here, there is only one animal farm. That's up here at the top. So if I turn on all of the indicators, so there's a cow farm up here. We are not starting there. I do not want to start with animals. So that's a thing. Don't want to start with animals. We're doing a lot of arable farming. The plan is, and we might have changed actually if I'm moving to the yard over here. The plan was to buy fields 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9. They've all got crops growing in them. A couple of them are ready to harvest. That might actually change now. So it might not, but I'm wondering if 92 and 80, so what's that, 170? We definitely can't buy that field. Some of the fields are quite expensive, you'll see. So we definitely can't buy that. Oh, we could. If we took a bit of a loan out, we could buy that. It'd be really tempting to buy the farm plus this cluster of fields to start us off. If not, that's quite expensive as well. We might end up having to buy 1 and 2 just from a cost perspective. Yeah, that's I had my heart set on the yards over here, but I think it makes sense to start up over here where we've got a silo. Partly because I intend to use a big chunk of the money to buy pretty much all of the kit that we need. So mods that I'm playing with, precision farming, seasonal growth is on, enhanced loan systems, that changes how loans work, no lease to own. We've got the vehicle sales customizer installed, so we should get more stuff crop up in the sales. I think I have Mode Plus enabled. The reason that I've got it enabled now is that we will get to animals at some point, and I want to have Mode Plus at that point. Just check that actually in the store fairly easily, I think. Yes, so we do have Mode Plus enabled. So that's not really going to affect anything because to start off with, I'm going to focus on arable crops. I'm not going to be doing silage anyway, so it's not really going to affect anything. It's just for later on, so all of the stuff is in there. That's a lot of talking. We should do something. Let's start buying stuff. So actually, I don't even have store deliveries installed. I was going to check that store deliveries was not set. So everything should appear here. Let's buy the farm first. So that's 75,200. Right, let's do some shopping. So main tractor. Regulars will know I love a Deutz. So I'm going to go for the 7 Series TTV. So 247 horsepower. Feels like a decent amount of horsepower for our first and only tractor. Well, first and potentially only. I may get a second tractor. I may get a second smaller tractor. I think I love the Warrior setup, but I think I'm going to get it in green unless I go kind of Warrior in green. I don't think I should be doing that at the moment. One thing I do need to check is, yes, it can have arrows. Awesome. So, well, I might go for white actually. That's possibly messing up some of my finances, but hopefully we can be okay. And I believe I'm not going to worry about the number plate for now. Farm Sim Brisco is adding in UK number plates. It's a job that he's not done yet, so we're going to get it without a number plate. I'm going to buy that. That's our big lump of cash gone, but there it is. Lovely tractor. Awesome. So trailers next. I've got a list. So we're going to go for Richard Western trailers. I have a whole bunch of them installed. So I think I was going to go for the SF16, not the silage variant. So no, we're not going to get a cover yet because finances are going to get tight. We won't bother with a number plate on there. Won't put a hitch on either, I don't think. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. Let's buy that. Did I buy it? No, I didn't buy it. Jeez. Now like a professional. Right, no, we don't want the signage one. We want that one. So this is going to hold 20,000 litres, which is pretty nice. So buy, yes. And then I'm going to go into, I'm not actually sure where it is. So we're going to go in through the brand Richard Western, and we're going to get the bale trailer as well. So quite like that. 19 grand. Yep. So that's the first few bits. Next is a combine. So you may have spotted we're going Deutz on here for most of our stuff. I've installed the M series, so it's a bit more horsepower than the Starliner, which means we can hopefully run a slightly bigger header. I'm going to go for the biggest engine, and everything else standard. We'll take the number plate off again and go with that, I think. That's that. We'll go, we'll get the header while we're at it. So 6 meter header. And we'll get the trailer. And so other headers, the reason I was going to get a sunflower header because field 1 has sunflowers in it. Are there many fields growing that have corn in them? There are a few. Duh. Field 5 has corn in, so we're going to need to get a corn header instead of the sunflower header. So let's go back in to make sure I get the right one. So no. So we're going to have to spend 63 on the Capella Diamant 8 instead. So yeah, that brought. There we are. Let's turn off player speed now. So I haven't done any auto drive setup yet, so I can't really use auto drive to start shuttling this stuff back to the farm. I might end up doing that off camera. Drill is next. I got this off of Vertex Designs Discord. It's in their community mods section. And it is the Horsch SW3500S plus its attachments. So that means we only need one seeder, which I think is going to be pretty helpful. So we're going to buy that. So I'm buying a lot of stuff that I'm not going to need initially, but I will eventually need it. So I want to get everything brought first. Again, it's something kind of unusual for me. So next we are going to get a disc, and I'm going to go for the Cochlinger Rebel. So I think we're using this on Maypole as well, but it's a nice price. So I'm going to pick that up as well. And a subsoiler. Now, normally I would use a plow, but does it come under plows? I'm not sure. It might come under plows, actually. That's the Jobby, the Banderanti Rastor H7. So 4.2 meters at 210 horsepower. So basically a 4 meter. I'm pretty sure it's a subsoiler, but that's that brought. So far, the shop has plenty of space for stuff to spawn, which is really nice. And I think the last things that I want to get are invert spreaders. I'm not sure which one I was looking at in here. Might have been the Breedle actually, with an extension. And spreading discs. Was that it? Yep. So the Breedle, the reason I'm going for this one is if we're doing fertilizing contracts, I might add in liming contracts as well. So we're going to be doing contracting on here. It would be useful to have something that holds a lot so we can go somewhere, do the whole job and come back, was my thinking. So I'm going to buy that as well. And then spraying, I've added in the, actually added the Cavernum one, but I realized that I've also added the Kubota stuff. And I think I'm going to go for the Kubota one because then we can go Kubota on the grasswork when we get to grasswork. So that's the plan for that. I think I'm going to leave it at 18 meters now. I'm not going to put spot spraying on yet because that's expensive. But we are going to buy the front tank as well. So I think that's everything that I think I wanted, because basically I wanted to get set up to be able to do everything we need for arable farming. I've remembered we need a baler, and I've added in, hoping it's cheap. Yeah, oh, it's 83 grand. Jeez, it's not cheap. Okay, we need a baler that's not too expensive. And that's not round, ideally. I might have to go back and have a look for that. The other thing is we need something to handle bales. Now, there's a couple of things I was considering. There is the DX140 Deutz, which is 47,000. The DO6 Deutz, but I think that might struggle with more than like one bale at a time. But it's really cool. Or the Deutz telehandler that released. Should check. No, there's nothing in the sales. The Deutz telehandler that released the other day, that might be a good option. That could also tow the combine header trailer. I don't know if it will tow any of the others, which is a disadvantage of it not being a tractor. And if we got a tractor, it could do other stuff. So I think at the moment, we should probably go for a tractor. And I think as much as my heart wants to go for the D06, we should go for the DX140, I think. Don't think I added any medium. So I did add this in. I downloaded this off Vertex Designs as well. And this should have been my main tractor. I think the horsepower is quite low. No, it shouldn't. It's only 186 horsepower. I wonder if we can stretch to buying. Can it have a front loader? Can it have a front loader? It cannot. So it is not a contender for that. So I think we're going to go for the DX140. So we'll have a front 3-point on there. We'll have standards. I'm assuming this can have a front loader, and maybe it cannot actually. So in that case, it is not so useful to me. So I'm going to jump out of the game. I'm going to find the baler and the front loader tractor. I'll be back. I'm back. Been out to Mod Hub, removed a couple of mods, added a couple of new ones in. So we now have the AgroStar 4.61. So a little bit cheaper, a little bit less power. I'm going to go for the 100 horsepower version. And we can have a kind of quickie or a lizard or no. So we'll go for the quickie one, I think. We can have a front hydraulic, so we'll go for that as well, because that might be useful for things like spraying or for spreading. And hopefully we can get narrows on it as well. So I think we'll go for wheel weights at the moment because we're going to be doing front loader work with this as well. So we will buy that. It's 100 horsepower. It's a quickie we want. No sniggering at the back, children. So that one. Can we get it in Deutz? Quite like that. Hopefully it colour matches. Almost everything's either green or red apart from the disc and the trailers. But that's okay. That sort of matches. Let's check it fits okay. So I do have enhanced vehicle installed on here for the particular reason that I want to use the button box that I made, and that is set up for enhanced vehicle. So, and let's go there. Awesome. So that looks okay to me. We're going to need front loader tools. We're not going to need we're going to want a bale spike. I'm going to go for the Brestel Lund. I'm going to buy that. We might need pallet forks. So I'm going to get some of those. Or we're going to go for big bags, and we could get a big bag lifter in that case. We're going to need IBCs as well. So we'll go for pallet forks. And I would like to get a couple of weights before I forget. So this one, and we'll get that in Deutz. No, I don't like it in Deutz green. I'll get that in black. So that's a 2.5 ton front weight for the Deutz. And then we need a weight to stick on the back of the littler Deutz. I think we'll go for an Echo one. And we'll get that in Onyx Black as well. Where did those spawn? Guess we'll be playing Hunt the Weight later on, which is a fun game for all of the family. I guess I have completely filled up the buy point. So we have just under £600,000 left to buy land, and we have our farmyard. So just to remind myself, we want 5, 8, and 9. Right, we're going to buy that one. We're going to buy that one. And then we're going to buy that one. That leaves us with 290,000. So I guess the question is, do I borrow? It's going to be about 400 grand because I want some money in the bank as well. Do I take out a £400,000 loan to buy that big field? It's a really good field. And that gives us a nice set of fields to work on. I think I do. So we are going to take loan. We can borrow that much. We're going to do it over 4 years. So 9 grand a month to repay it. Yeah, over 5 years, 7 grand a month. We'll take the loan out. We can repay it quicker, which is the nice thing about that. So then we will buy that as well. So we've got 100 grand left. We really need to get soil sampling done. The 18, 29, 39, 47 grand. Or we put narrows on the little doits and buy the soil sampler. There's one weight. There's the other one. No. I guess the other one's going to be around here somewhere. Right. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy the soil sampler. We pick up. Oh, that's got a rumble to it. Stops very quickly. We do that, and then buy the soil sampler, because 17 grand is better than the alternative. And I'll use Courseplay to get the soil sampling done, because we've got a lot of moving kit back and forwards to the yard. Ooh, it's quite loud. Hopefully we can use the workshop in here. Hopefully there is a workshop in here. It looks like there is not a workshop in here, so that could be the joy of playing on a map that's in development. So probably what we want to do is put a workshop at our yard. So let's drive around to the yard. I'll leave it running actually. I was going to stop it, but we'll leave it running so that you guys can see some of the map. If you didn't watch my map tour, and if you didn't watch my map tour, why didn't you watch it? But there's, because this is a pre-release map, there's no auto drive network, which is a bit of a challenge because it means I'm going to have to do my own, but I will get an auto drive network set up on here, I think, to do some of the work, particularly moving everything back from the store to the yard. I'm not entirely sure where the yard is, so that's one of our fields. I'm expecting a turn on the left up here somewhere. Yep. Gonna get us into our yard. So this is my first time playing on one of Farm Sim Brisco's maps. This other one, the Oaks, I just wasn't convenient for with where all my other saves were for me to play on it, but did have a look around it. It looked really nice. So we are in game about 40 miles at the entrance to the field. We're about 40 miles north of the Oaks on here. So I do have a plan that I'll be visiting the Oaks sometimes. If if I want a bit of variety, or if I want to do some different contracts or whatever, then I think that's a fun way of enabling that. Right, I don't think I have a repair point installed, so bear with me. And again, I am back. This is one of the joys of setting a new save up, isn't it? You end up having to just jump in and out of the game because you forget things. So there we go. Repair station. Where do I want to put this? I mean, I can move it afterwards. It's not a big deal. So it's pretty darn cheap. So I think we're going to put it there. That'll do. So I've got, oh, there's the silos. No, that's a workshop. I could use those. Anyway, I've got Alien Jim's words, not his words, his shed stuff installed because I was tempted to buy the seed hut and the fertilizer hut so I could buy everything at the farm. I may still do that. Interested in your thoughts on that one because I don't need to put those in today. I do need to put in a diesel tank as well. Probably going to go for the smallest one, and I think we'll put that next to the silo here. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so we've got that brought as well. So Let's go get some narrow tires put on. I'm going to detach the front loader because otherwise it's going to detach itself anyway, and we could get into a bit of a mess. Okay, so customize. Where are the arrows? There we go. So those on. Again, reattach the Azaria. I'm not worried about reattaching the front loader. And we'll go start scanning the first field that has a harvestable crop in it. I know that's probably not realistic, but I do want to get the information, so that's why I'm doing it. Let's go out of the exit, shall we? Learning a new map is always fun, isn't it? Yeah, I really like this map. So as soon as I had the opportunity arise to play on it as Greenlands was ending, I was pretty sure that I wanted to be playing on here. On our left, you can see one of the features of this map, which are the berms around the field, then with the trees and the hedges on top of them. It's pretty classic in the UK to have that kind of thing around a field. You might also have trenches inside that berm as you go around the field. So we are going to course generation. We want to do a headland and footwork course. Go. They're all pretty big fields, so maybe a fair bit of crop coming off them. My plan in terms of how I'm going to run this is I think there will be quite a lot of time skipping as we get through things. I'm going to need to skip time, so I have not bought the baler, so I added in a new baler, the John Deere baler, so it doesn't match the rest of our kit, but it's cheap and that's what was important. So for that one, it's a lot like the Crone that I have on Maypole, but it's all we can afford basically. So I think I'm going to get a bunch of this stuff back to the yard and set up, and we will have a crack at harvesting our first field. Just pulling up to the field, pretty much everything is now up at the yard or across at the yard. Baler is still at the shop because we're going to need that soon, so that can stay there just while we get this field harvested. I'm probably not going to get all of the harvest done this video, because I've been rabbiting on for quite a while. The soil samples cost about 7 or 8 grand. The field is not in particularly great shape, so we're looking at 60% of the potential yield, which is not really good. You'll notice it says crop rotation. So I have added in the crop rotation mod. So I've not used this since it released. Let's just jump in the combine. And I thought it would be really appropriate on here, seeing as the plan is to do lots of arable farming. And I've put together a little crop rotation. We've got 4 fields at the moment. I've done a rotation of 5 crops so that we'll be cycling them a little bit more. As we get more fields as well, then we'll be using those. It has most crops that we're growing, I think. So we're growing... Yeah, it's got everything except potatoes that we're growing, because I don't plan to focus on potatoes. I'm questioning whether we'll even bother harvesting that field this year or whether we'll plough them in, because we can't lease stuff on here. So that's one thing that I think I said earlier on. I'm not leasing anything, so we'd have to buy a potato harvester just to harvest one field. So what I might do is plough that field in and get it planted early with oats next month. The other thing, I meant to add in better contracts. I forgot to do. There are some harvesting contracts cropping up. They're big harvesting contracts, so we might only take the one because it's going to be a lot of work with our little combine. And Field 21 is massive. It's like the size of our whole farm, and with no leasing, that would be a challenge. What I've decided is I'm going to do. We're on 2-day months. I'm going to play on ×5 most of the time. I think that'll be okay. I'm going to do 2 videos in August to account for that. So I've got it on ×2. So next video, what I want to do is get the rest of the field scanned. Get 5 and 10 at least sorted for nitrogen so we get a better yield off of them. Decide what I'm going to do with field 9. I think we'll end up ploughing that. Does it need ploughing? Yeah, it needs ploughing. So might plough that field in, ready to get that planted. And we might pick up one of these big harvesting contracts. I probably won't have a tractor to cart with. Yeah, we'll see. Might end up having to spend some money and borrowing some money to get another tractor. I wasn't planning this early on. Anyway, we need to, the harvester is unfolded. We need to enable the straw swath. And then let's go lower the header down and in we go. We need to enable the straw swath. Really want to get straw off of here, please. Yeah, this is a pretty big field, or certainly for what I'm used to farming at the moment. Most of the fields on Maypole were pretty small. The fields on Greenlands were bigger, but we had much bigger equipment. So there is that. Probably we're going to have to move away from Deutz for some of the kit. I don't think there's a big Deutz combine. And we probably will need a bigger combine in reality, certainly within a couple of years. My plan for this is that, particularly in this land is king. So what we need to be doing early on, we're obviously only going to make money when we sell crops, but as we can, I want to be buying new fields. If the loan is proving to be affordable, I might extend the loan so we can buy more fields. The amount we can borrow is limited by the enhanced loan system mod, based on our capital from vehicles and land and all that kind of thing. So we can't just go crazy on the loan and borrow whatever we want. It looked like the maximum when I took the first loan out was like 1.1 million, and we've borrowed 400,000 of that. So we could borrow more and buy another big field. I don't want to do that yet. I want to get myself set up and established and comfortable that the farm is running okay. And probably, as I said, when we sell off the crops for this year, we'll be able to decide if we can buy another field or not at that point. So really, we need to be expanding the land as quickly as possible, which does say in my head we need to make the most use possible of the loan. And, you know, in theory, we could borrow another 500,000, buy another big field, and still be able to borrow another 100 grand if we were struggling for cash flow for paying the loan off, because we don't have any cash flow. The only cash flow we're going to get is contracting, until we get to the point where we can sell crops. So that's very different for me from most of my regular saves, where at least once I'm a little way in and I'm established, I have animals, and animals generate income, obviously. There's another entrance to the field there. So I've been pondering how to set up auto drive on here. That's probably something I'm going to do between videos. I'll probably spend a couple of hours setting up some auto drive stuff, at least around the area that we are at the moment. When the map releases, hopefully Auto Drive Guy will grab hold of it and make one of his awesome auto drive networks, because that'd be a lot better. But obviously, you can see it's going to take us a while to harvest this field, and I'm not in for an hour and a half stint in Farm Sim, at least not today. So I'm what day is it today? It's Wednesday today. I don't. Sometimes you guys don't care about that. Some of you do, but it's Wednesday today. I didn't have a migraine yesterday, which was good. I had last night before I went to bed. I had a little bit of the kaleidoscope vision thing, which is apparently what it's called. And because I was about to go to bed, I took the oral migraine medication that I have and went to bed. It's making it really hard to wake up in the morning. You guys know, or regulars to the channel know, that I am awake pretty early. Partly because of the dogs waking up early, and I've always woken up early. So I'm generally someone who's up pretty early, and I usually make use of that time. The last 2 days where I've been on medication again, the dogs have woken me up. I've dragged my ass out of bed, let the dogs out, and then fallen asleep in the chair, having a bit of a power nap, bit of an old man snooze. And so I'm hoping that that's just my body adjusting to the medication. I remember it being a bit like that before, and that it would take its toll on me and leave me quite tired. So this is going to be a heck of a lot of oats. What I might end up doing, I think I may try and get the headlands done in this video. And then next time I might set course play off on the combine while we start baling. Because it's all going to be quite a big job to get done. Yeah, I really like the way this map looks. Remember, this is Farm Sim Brisco's second map. The intent is that this will be going onto Mod Hub, so onto console as well. At the time that I'm recording this, it has not been submitted to Mod Hub yet, so I would expect it will be a little while. So the wait for Mod Hub at the moment, I think, is about, the last time I looked was about 10 working days, so that's 2 weeks. And because it's Farm Sim Brisco's first map that he's submitting to Mod Hub, personally, I would be surprised if it passed first time. Giants can be quite picky about that kind of thing, and so, and this is based on my own experience of making mods as well. I would expect it will go through at least one round of updates before it passes testing. So that's normal. So Farm Sim Brisco, if you're watching and you've watched this far, that's not that I don't have faith in you. That's what I expect from almost every mod that's submitted. Giants always find something, however small it is. So my expectation is it'll take a round of failing testing once before it gets released onto Mod Hub. That's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. So it'll be worth the wait. I think this is quite for me, it's got some quite unique features. So you can see in the corner there, the ground ramps up into the corner. As I said, that is pretty classic for a farmer in the UK, where the farmers will have built up little, I call them berms, around the fields, and then the hedgerows grow out at the top of them. So it's a way combined, quite often you have a gate across the entranceway, or where I am, quite often they'll leave like old trailers or cultivators and bits of heavy field equipment in the gateway to stop people accessing the field when they shouldn't, for whatever reason. So I think that's why they put those berms around the fields. I know where I am, they also will plough or subs with a heavy subsoiler, or dig trenches around the edges of the fields to keep people out. And again, they will put heavy things in the gateways. One of the local farmers uses IBCs full of soil to block them off. Another one, say, uses old trailers and discs and stuff like that things that you're going to need either a tractor or a telehandler to move. I think they tend to use gates less because gates get cut open, you know. I'm really enjoying this. I am really tempted to take that monster harvesting contract. If we just let me have a look. Let me have a look. It pays really well, doesn't it? If we could do a couple of these, we could pay for a tractor or a truck. I need to have a look. I really want to get an older truck and a low loader. That's mostly to link up to the Oaks, because you know you wouldn't drive a combine 40 miles down the road unless you're Ollie Blogs. Who probably by the time this is released will have finished his Land's End to John O'Groats thing that he's doing for mental health. I watched Tom Pemberton's video yesterday where he linked up with Ollie, and it's quite interesting just, you know, listening to them chat about mental health and stuff. Again, regulars will know that as a family, we suffer with mental health problems. Mrs. D has had serious depression issues in the past. My daughter has had serious depression issues in the past. We all suffer with anxiety. So yeah, mental health is a hot topic in the Disturbed household, and it's kind of cool seeing people doing stuff for it. Yeah, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so you wouldn't drive a combine 40 miles down the road to get to a job, or a tractor. You might drive a tractor, and I know when Ollie takes tractors over to Tom Pemberton's, he just drives them across. So but my plan is to get a truck and a low loader, a lorry and a low loader for doing that. And so although I've brought a lot of stuff, there is still a lot of stuff that I think I need to get in, probably not this year, but probably early next year, because it would be nice to start reaching across to the Oaks in spring, maybe with some planting contracts and that kind of thing. You know, chuck the Deutz and the planter on the back of the low loader and go off and do a few jobs over there. Yeah, the amount of money that harvesting contract pays again, £42,000, that would pay for us to buy a tractor, a small tractor, you know, in one go. So, and if I could get another tractor, so what I could do, God, my brain is spinning already. I could get another smaller tractor that could run the sprayer, because what we need to do for the second half of August on our farm is spray fertilizer, because crops are quite well grown on, so I won't take the big breedle into the field, but we need to spray fertilizer on the field, and we need to crop scan. Both of those are really small tractor jobs, but I'd like to do them in parallel. So another small Deutz would definitely be I wonder if 2 headlands is enough on here. I reckon because there's a decent headland anyway, I reckon we could turn on that. So yeah, another small Deutz to do, you know, the spraying and that kind of thing. It wouldn't need to have a front loader on it. I'm trying to stick away, so I have an old Deutz on. I know what I could do. I have a cunning plan, Baldric. I have a cunning plan. I'll just get to the end of this headland. We'll have a quick chat about it, and then I am going to wrap the video up because it's got quite long. So next video we'll finish up harvesting this field. There might be 3 videos in August because of all the setup. Might be that we finish harvesting in the next video, and then in the one after that we do the field prep work and that monster contract. just because it's only like 10 in the morning. So normally I'll be playing on 5 times with the 2-day months, but for this, because August you don't get that extra day, I'm going to keep it on 2 times. So, and that time limitation will be partly so that I can't be silly and exploit all of the contracts that are available on the map, because we'll run out of time. So let's switch that off. Switch it off, please. There we go. Let's unload that into the combine. What I'm thinking, have you guessed? Have you guessed? This will run. We've got arrows. This could run the soil sampler. It's only 12 grand. So we could have this on the soil sampler. We could have the DX4 on the sprayer, and then these two could be working on the contract if I get auto drive set up. So I think that's my plan. So next time we'll finish the harvest, we'll get the straw baled, get all that stacked away, and then we'll just carry on from there. So I want to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys all supporting the channel. Thanks to Farm Sim Brisco for giving me early access to this map. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. If you're new to the channel and you've just found it from this video, then think about subscribing. Join me as we progress through this series. I will try and show you other bits of the map, which is something I'm really bad at normally, and contracts will let me do that. So you'll get to see all of the map, hopefully, maybe before release, depending on how testing goes. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, stick them below. And I will see you next time on Saxthorpe Farms.